Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you part 3 of a replay between OGS, TheWind, and Wacomm here on Lost Temple. Once again, we now see a very large drop coming in, and there are a lot of Mutalisks in the air trying to accompany this drop. There are a lot of Vikings, and now in comes a Nidus Network, and in comes those Ultralisks now coming in with those Mutalisks as well. Mutalisks dealing a lot of damage, however, the Thors were able to get a round of Javelin missiles in the air, and now in comes another drop. So this is a crazy drop by OGS, TheWind, able to deal so much damage. Ultralisks simply coming in as well, butting their head against this Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortress will get taken down. Down it goes. Vikings are now in the air, able to clean up many, but in comes that fungal growth that I was talking about, and now in comes some infested Terrans as well, and so many of those Vikings are now going to get shot out of the sky by those infested Terrans. Infested Terrans doing a great job trying to clean them up, and many of the Vikings have been taken down. Ultralisks now coming down over here, and now those Marauders are getting a little bit stuck in this situation as well, as there are so many Vikings in the air here. We see a large army down over here. The Nidus Network is completely emptied now, and now we'll be reloading once again. Another Planetary Fortress has been taken down, and wow, OGS TheWind completely changing this game and putting it upside down as the battle has completely flip-flopped. We now see that the army sizes are about even, but just income-wise, you can see how far behind what the Wacomm is at this stage in the game. There are Vikings in the air. The Vikings do not want to try to engage into that ground mode, even though they could fight against those Ultralisks. Those Ultralisks would simply just tear them apart very quickly. Planetary Fortress trying to fight back very slowly, cleaning up many of those Zerglings, able to one-shot them. Marines and Marauders now coming over as well. Another Overlord, no more Overlords, just more infested Terrans dropping in out of those infestors as more Planetary Fortress are now getting cleaned up, and now TheWind simply rolling over, and the game has been completely changed. Factory now being repaired by mules. One command center in the orbital command needs to re-land, try to get back into this game economically. Back over here, the Planetary Fortress does not have all too much. SCVs need to start mining up once again. Harvester count is very low for Wacomm. And now, a game of attrition may go in favor of OGS TheWind. So Wacomm currently has the larger army by far, at least about more than double the size, but we are getting the level 3 Zerg attack upgrades and more Ultralisks. So as these things continue to change, Mutalisks are in the air, was able to take down something over here, and now Banelings, quickly getting shot down there. No acid goo anywhere here, as perhaps these mules should be on auto repair and trying to repair many of these Vikings. Those Vikings could start to deal a lot of damage very effectively if they were able to just move around the map. We do see the Hydralisk Den, no groove spines just quite yet. Ultralisks and Ultralisks now being trained up as well. Another armory being laid down, as this army is just so incredibly strong. Infestors are trying to, I guess, trying to bait those Vikings to attack. Are they going to be able to attack? And now in comes a fungal, no fungal growth. There we go, there's that fungal growth, depleting much of the energy. Another, no fungal growth, as it walks straight into an into a Thor army. There was a little bit of an attack there, and now those Mutalisks trying to just magic box, but however, there are too many Vikings, too many Thors, I believe, and those Mutalisks do not have armor upgrades. Those Vikings do have the weapon attack upgrades, trying to finish off the last of those Thors. Will it be able to finish it off? No. Going after the higher hit point Thor, a little bit of a mistake there, and now OGS TheWind on a much smaller army. All he's really creating at this time is just mass Banelings. Banelings on Lost Temple, Terran versus Zerg, yeah. So we'll see, all these Banelings, will they be able to roll into this army here and deal enough damage? Those siege tanks are fully upgraded, so they're able to single blast and deal a lot of this damage. However, going straight into that Nidus Network instead and bypassing all of those siege tanks down here. There are a couple Thors though, but are these Banelings going to be able to roll in fast enough? The Vikings are able to see a little bit onto that high ground, as a second command center now being placed down, and now you can see OGS TheWind just trying to get back into this, trying to hit with tactical strikes all across the map. And now Mutalisks in the air trying to deal damage, and now really Wacomm doing a great job staying in this game. Wind, suiciding so many of his Mutalisks, and that was just very painful to watch for anyone who is right now currently rooting for the Zerg player. Income-wise, you can still see that Wacomm is behind. He still has the larger standing army still by far, and he does not have that many harvesters, so a majority of his army, of his food count is going to his army, so that is looking very, very good for himself. A lot of banelings just hiding out over here so far. Those banelings now trying to roll out. Will they be able to deal any damage? We do see that they are now on the attack move, and now Marines trying to come in. Overlords quickly getting shot down there. Ultralisk now trying to come in as well. Ultralisk with those banelings trying to get massive amounts of damage. Banelings quickly getting cleaned up there. Will be able to deal some damage towards those Thors, but those Thors have so many hit points that they were able to absorb more than enough of those banelings. And Ultralisk trying to run away. Will it be able to get into that Nidus Worm in time? Yes. However, there are a whole bunch of infestors. So now, wow, that's a lot of infestors. 12 infestors currently being macroed. And now that I take a look at this, no, there is enough. What can happen is if those infestors had, I believe they burrow is research. Yes, those infestors could burrow into this location here and start spawning infested Terrans on top of these siege tanks. If he does that, the siege tank splash damage will start to destroy each other, and that may allow him to break this center location here. I believe that's the only way that OGS TheWind can be able to take this game back, and even just because his army is so much smaller. Income-wise, you can see that he's still very, very much in this game, but as these mineral patches are slowly getting mined out, things are not going to be looking good for him at all. Back in here into the center of the game, we do see now barracks being laid down, as well as another command center, another planetary fortress is over here. So this one planetary fortress in this location, there are not that many orbital commands if I can count them. There's one orbital command, and that is it. So he does not have that much detection. Wacomm, you need more than missile turrets if the game actually goes the way I expect it to. Production-wise, we are now getting Neural Parasite. So Neural Parasite on these infestors. Siege tanks are going to completely change the course of this game. With those Neural Parasites, OGS TheWind running off of so much gas right now, and now it's also seen on a lot of larvae. Taking a look at this, he has multiple larvas, or multiple hatcheries with larvae, 48 larvae. That means he can train up so many units at the same time. Multiple Zerglings now being trained up as well. And now as these stores are going to be just countered, completely countering each other, this is going to be very, very difficult for Wacomm. Will this game turn into a mass infestor, a mass neural parasite, mass infested Terran game in this matchup? Taking a look, I do wish I could see a queen somewhere to see what the only level 1 claw or missile attack upgrades, as now Vikings once again on the hunt. Those Vikings could quickly land and just take down that queen very, very easily. In comes a fungal growth, coupled with a couple infested Terrans. Another fungal growth is all that's needed, and now down goes two of those Vikings. So Vikings now getting lost. Terran ship plating now being upgraded as well. Are we gonna get burrow? Does OGS TheWind realize that he can burrow and move with these infestors and deal the necessary damage? Just spawning infested Terrans into these locations here, and then running them over with Ultralisk. We do see the infestors currently sitting over here turning off. We do also have the 250mm strike cannons. It does not stop Ultralisk. Ultralisk do have frenzy, so they're immune to stun and mind control effects. They are also cannot be ensnared by that fungal growth. And now moving around over here, those infestors now simply trying to test the waters, moving out, and now in comes the infested Terrans, and now turning around on those siege tanks blasting back, dealing more damage to siege tanks, completely changing this battle, and more damage is being dealt. The infested Terrans are now going to be taken down. Back over here, infestors once again on the move, trying to take down even more critical buildings. Another siege tank over here. Banelings now being dropped out of the sky. So a really, really great play, but I believe that not enough damage was dealt. 6850 versus 1825. Too many siege tanks here. If he simply burrows his infested Terrans and spawns infested Terrans into this location, this whole entire place will be decimated in a matter of seconds because of those fully upgraded siege tanks. Siege tanks dealing 65 damage against armored units there. Back over here, army-wise, 1825 versus 7100, and wow, just Wacomm still just sitting in his base, doesn't want to move out just quite yet. And Planetary Fortress has 24 kills, no upgrade on that range production wise, getting the level 3 Terran plating, and Siege Tanks just sitting pretty now. Will this be enough infestors in order to get back into this game? Will be a really critical question. Wacomm still has more minerals by far, almost 10k in minerals, as he's almost supply locked at sitting about 180 so far. 176 doesn't have enough gas. All of these refineries are very low, and now we are getting a Ghost Academy. So Ghost Academy now coming online. Most likely a nuke will be coming online as well. Mass Marines could be trained up. SCV is trying to repair these planetary fortresses as well in order so that they can even take up and soak up even more damage. Mass Zergling being trained up by the Wind. The Wind Zerglings are upgraded 3-3. I believe they also have that adrenal gland upgrade. Where is that spawning pool? Right over here. Yeah, the adrenal gland upgrades have been completed, and that is going to be 100 Zerglings, and now another Nidus Worm being produced. Where is that being produced? Right here. So a Nidus Worm being produced here, simply may be able to come into this location and simply swarm against all of these siege tanks. Will it be enough? Will enough damage be dealt? Ultralisk now coming out, trying to deal damage. Those Ultralisks are moving relatively slowly as those infestors. The infestor, if it sits around over here, may be able to get off a couple. Oh, scanner sweep, taking down that last infestor. There it goes. But this planetary fortress will not be able to suffer the onslaught. I do not believe, as these Ultralisks are simply coming in. Down goes this one, that one Nidus Worm there, as a second Nidus Worm now trying to come into position once again. SCVs will be able to repair it though, so that 5 armor planetary fortress, such a strong building. As there are Ultralisks currently sitting here, another Ultralisk, and now more Zerglings trying to come back in, another Nidus Worm trying to come back out. Zerglings quickly getting killed as they're trying to unload, and because there was not a double Nidus Worm, not able to unload all those units quickly enough, I believe Wacomm is able to just simply sit back on his economic advantage and his army advantage right now, still sitting on about 10,000 minerals, and even though he is mining much less, he has the larger cache of minerals so far in this game. Infestors now trying to be unloaded out of here. So many Zerglings, multiple Zerglings just in the belly here, just trying to be unloaded. And now what's going to be happening? Infested Terrans would be just a crazy change in this game. I do not believe there are now enough infestors in order to execute the strategy any longer. There is not that much gas to be had across the map. Yeah, both of these extractors are mined out. Both of these extractors are also mined out as well. These extractors are now mined out, and now the Wind's sitting on only 2 gas so far at this stage in the game. We can see that the Terran player sitting on about 3 gas now and still able to get trained up even more and more. Drones now doing some long distance, just suiciding themselves into this location here. So not quite sure what's happening with those drones. Perhaps he's just trying to free up some food count in order to be able to just train up even more and more units for one last hoorah, a straight suicide into the base. This game has just been ridiculously long, going into about 57 game minutes so far as this game continues. So a large number of Zerglings, a large number of Ultralisks, also some infestors as well. Infestors do have neuroparasites, so they will be able to mind control, and in come some ghosts. So those ghosts were perhaps trying to get a nuke off in just a moment. They do have an armed nuclear silo, and they also have cloak. They will also be able to EMP shockwave and snipe down many of those Ultralisks based upon the energy on those ghosts. Those ghosts, if they're able to snipe down those Ultralisks, that is a lot of damage to be dealt. 45 times 8, what, 340? Somewhere in there. Yeah, we do have a large amount of ghosts, and now 1 ghost in the air. 3 additional infestors also being trained. Once again, Vikings continue to move around the map, and now Zerg just having a very difficult time trying to get back into this game. There is no additional gas to be had except for off of these 2 island locations. OGS TheWind only mining off of 3 mineral patches. Every single mineral patch nearly mined out now. as these are what, 2 mineral patches here and 2 mineral patches here. So there are currently 4 mineral patches left in this game. Oh no, 7 mineral patches left in this game. Way too many drones trying to mine out of this location, and now that has been cleaned up as well. So Ghost now quickly coming in for a drop. Not quite sure what they're going to be able to nuke. We do have some infestors here. Will those infestors be able to get off of fungal growth onto some of those ghosts? Ghost now trying to back off there, and now in come some of those infestors. Infestors do not have, in comes a scanner sweep, and now, oh, in comes that fungal growth. However, 2 quick snipes, able to deal multiple counts of damage, and now unable to, oh, another snipe there, losing another infestor. A very, very heavy loss, as infestors and energy-based units will become very, very key in this battle. Infestors now down over here. One Nidus network. OGS TheWind, I believe, is just simply delaying the inevitable at this time. I believe this game is nearly over, as not much is really gonna be able to happen. Zerglings now simply trying to swarm into this location. Siege tanks sitting back with those barracks, acting as a nice wall. And now infested Terrans finally dropping in, but that too little, too late there. And now OGS TheWind says GG. I believe if OGS TheWind had simply just used his infestors and used infested Terrans, allowing splash damage to be dealt within this area, there were never any Ravens. So the missile turrets do not have that far of a sight range. Those missile turrets are pretty far back. There was one missile turret here, but if OGS TheWind had used those infested Terrans, spawned them into that location, let the splash damage take it, and just weaken up so many of those siege tanks, and then try to press in with those Zerglings, it would have been much more effective. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 3-part epic battle here on Lost Temple. Down to 4 mineral patches left. 115, 118, 345, and 135. So yeah, almost every single mineral patch mined out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like this video.